Thank you so much for joining this lesson. We're going to discuss mathematics, grade 8 paper. This is in preparation to the Kjsea, that is the Kenya Junior Secondary Education Assessment 2025. So as we do the preparations, we're going to be uploading papers here for all the junior school levels. Remember to invite friends. Remember to subscribe to this platform as we're going to learn together. We're going to revise this paper from number 1 all the way to the last question. And so I request learners to be ready, to be prepared, and to be keen in this lesson. Yeah, so we begin with number 1. The question says, which of the following is not an integer? Not an integer. So what are integers first? An integer is a whole number, both positive and negative, 0 included. So this means when we look at these numbers provided here with the knowledge that we have about integers, then you discover that -3 is whole number and negative, so it's an integer. 0 is included in integers. 9 is a whole number, positive. Then now we can talk about another choice here, which is in part C. This is a negative, and it is also a decimal. So being a decimal, it is disqualified from being an integer. So it becomes our answer because we needed that one number, which is not an integer. So that is sorted now. In number 2, use a number line to work out -6 plus a -2. We can do this evaluation first, whereby we will say -6 plus followed by a negative becomes a -2. So -6 minus 2. And we draw a decent number line here, whereby we can begin from a even 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the negatives now. 5, negative. 6, 7, 8, 9, can even have a +1, +2. So when we talk about -6, then we subtract 2. Subtracting in the number line, we move to the left-hand side. So we'll be moving from -6, and we move 2 units to the left because of the negative. If it was a +2, we would have gone to the right. So we go to the left, 1, 2. And by going 2 steps to the left, we find ourselves at -8. So the answer becomes C. Number 3, a question which has some correction here. So we'll read that Matthew read 2 out of 7 of a storybook on Monday, a third on Tuesday, and the rest on Wednesday. If he read 24 pages on Wednesday, how many pages are there in the storybook? So we begin by saying that on Monday, we have 2/7. And on Tuesday, we have a third. So from these 2 days, the pages which have been read are 13. Yeah, 13 out of 21. 13/21. That is to mean remainder. If 13 out of 21 is the fraction which has been read on Tuesday and Monday, then so far the remaining is 8/21. Because 13/21 has been read, then 8/21 remains. Now, if this is the remainder, then we can check on Wednesday. On Wednesday. So on Wednesday, this is the fraction which was read now. This one goes to Wednesday. That is the fraction which was read on Wednesday. So we are being told that if he read 24 pages on Wednesday, so on Wednesday, the proportions which are 8 are representing 24 pages. What about the total of the book, which is now 21? Because 8 out of the 21 is representing 24. What about the total, which is 21 now? So it will be 24 by 21 over 8, which is going to give us exactly 63. And that means the storybook is having 63 pages. Convert in number 4, 1 out of 8 to a decimal, correct to 2 decimal places. So when we take 1 divided by 8, we're going to have 0.125. This is the exact answer after division. But now the exam is having instructions. The exam is having instruction to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So we do now what we call the rounding off, whereby we count the first, the second, then now we consider what is in the third. It's a 5. When the number in the right hand side is 5 or greater than 5, it usually increases the one here, depending on the rounding off you're doing. So this becomes 0.13. So that becomes our answer, part D. Remember, part B is going to be wrong and part C is going to be wrong when you round off to 2 decimal places without considering the rules of rounding off. Then you become wrong. As we continue learning, I would like to remind you or welcome you to our platform here, where you can access airtime to all the networks from your M-Pesa. So you can buy airtime for any line. You just go to M-Pesa menu, the Lipa na M-Pesa option, then pay bill number is our business number displayed here, 737356. Then the account number is the phone number that you're purchasing airtime for. This phone number can be Safaricom, Airtel, Telcom, and it can even be a phone number of a friend that you're purchasing airtime for. As long as you use this pay bill, 737356, then the number that you'd like it to receive airtime, you use it as the account. Then you proceed to enter the amount, you complete the transaction, and you shall receive the airtime instantly. So please utilize this facility and invite friends to the same. All right. In number 5, the instruction are, which of the following is a recurring decimal? Recurring decimal. So the opposite of recurring decimal is what we call terminating decimals. Terminating decimals. So it means all the others are terminating decimals except only one. So we can convert all of them and see which one is going to be recurring, which one is going to be terminating. 4 divided by 5 becomes 0.8. When we divide 1 over 4, we get 0.25. When we divide 5 out of 8, we get 0.625. You see now? So we can check it, the last one now, which is 2 out of 9. And this becomes 0.2222. There is a certain sequence here whereby 2 is repeating itself. Therefore, D is the recurring decimal. The others are called terminating decimals, whereby after dividing, it just ends very conveniently with without even filling the screen of your calculator. The number just ends. Call it terminating decimals. So we have identified the recurring decimal in the provided choices. Number 6, convert 0.0270 to a fraction in the simplest form. So there is an instruction about the simplest form. So to convert into the simplest form, we have to take the numbers here, whereby we are having 27. Then you count the decimal places. 1, 2, 3. That means we divide this one by 1,000. Or you can even consider the fourth decimal, whereby you have 270. Then you say it was 4 decimal places. So you see now the last 0 there will cancel, and we'll have 27 out of 1,000. Remember, 27 is a prime. It's not a prime number, but 27 cannot divide by 1,000. It cannot divide by 1,000. So now, when you express 27 into its prime factors, that will be 3 power 3, but 1,000 is 10 power 3. You see now they are not related in the numerator and in the denominator. So this becomes our answer in the simplest form possible. So that is it. Among the choices which were provided, we didn't have the right answer. Number 7. During a tree planting day, Mana Primary School planted 1,684 trees. Write the number of trees planted correct to 2 significant figures. So the figure which appears first on the left, that one is called the first figure. The first figure, whether significant or not, the first figure. So we have 1 as the first figure, 6 as the second, third, fourth. So because we want to round off to 2 significant figure, we will consider the second significant figure, but then we will be checking at the value of the figure on its right hand side, this one. So 8 is greater than 5, so it is able to, 8 is able to increase 6. And therefore this becomes 1, 7. But now there is no way we can round off a number which is in terms of thousands, then we make it tens. So to sustain the total value of this particular number now, we have to return the zeros here. We just have to include zeros there so that they be position orders for purposes of total value of this given number. So the trees can be approximated to 1700 to 2 significant figures. A meeting was attended by not more than 20 people. Form an inequality to represent the number of people in the meeting. Form an inequality to represent the number of people in the meeting. So we can form the inequality in terms of x, because I can see x is the unknown, which was preferred. So if the number were x, if the people were x, then because these people were not more than 20, then it means they were either 20 or below 20. So it's x less than 20 or equal to 20. So part D becomes the right answer. Part D becomes the right answer. Not more than 20. So they can just be 20, but they can't exceed there. So 20 is among the possible number of the people who attended the meeting. Looking at number 9, which inequality is represented by the number line below? So on a number line, there is an inequality which has been represented. You can see it is from 6, but now, from 5, sorry. From 5, but now we are added to the right. Now, to the right of 5, values are greater than 5 itself. Therefore, if the inequality is chosen to be in terms of y, then it will be y being greater than 5. The reason why we cannot say y greater than or equal to 5 is because when you look at the mark here, 5 has not been circled. So if we had a shading, it could have meant that 5 is inclusive. And so we would have said greater than or equal to. But now that we didn't have this shading, then the values of y are strictly above 5. Yeah, strictly above 5. Number 10, find the value of x in the figure below. The figure below is a rectangle whereby, you know, this is a sign of equal sides. This one and this one. Those are two equal sides. Then this side and this one, which is seemingly the length, they are also equal because of those signs. Now that they are equal, we are going to equate this value and this value. For the length, we cannot equate because one of the length has not been expressed. So we say 7x minus 6 is equivalent to 4x plus 3. So to group terms together, 4x will have to be subtracted here, and that will be 3x. Then negative 6. Now it will become addition on this side. So this is equal to 3 plus 6, which is a 9. For us to remain with x, we have to divide through by 3, and this gives us exactly the value of 3. So the answer here is exactly 3, which is option C. 11, find the perimeter of the triangle below, whose length is 24 and diagonal 25. It's good to know that a triangle doesn't have a diagonal, and the figure drawn below is not even a triangle. Therefore, we talk about a rectangle now. So this is a rectangle. That's a rectangle. It is having a length and a diagonal, 25. Therefore, what we will do first, you know, finding perimeter is adding the sizes of the borders of a plane figure. Therefore, we need to take 25 squared minus 24 squared. Then now we take the square root. That is called Pythagoras theorem. And when we take that, we will obtain 49, sorry. We get 49. Now we are supposed to get the square root of 49. This is exactly 7. So this is 7 centimeter side. Now, the meaning of perimeter is when we add the boundaries of this figure. Therefore, we need to say perimeter of a rectangle is given by 2, the sum of length and width. So this is going to be 2, 24, and 7. 24 plus 7 is 31. 31 multiplied by 2, 62. So the correct answer is part D. Yeah, we have number 12. Remember to subscribe to this platform. Remember also to share the link with your friends. Remember that our consultation line remains 0704 15 33 66. So that is the number that you can use to request for these revision materials and also to make further consultations in case you didn't understand. Through the same number, you can also organize for individualized tuitions. 12. A piece of land is in the shape shown below. Find its area in hectares. So we can see two parallel sides whereby one of them is 120 meters, the other one 180, sorry. Then we have a 20, then 100. For us to find area of a trapezium shape, we're supposed to take half A plus B multiplied by the height between the two parallel sides. So half, we take one side, which is 180. The upper side, which is it 120, yeah? Then height between them, which is exactly 20. So simplifying this one, we will get 10 at this point. So that 300 by 10, is it 300? Yeah, by 10 becomes 3,000 square meters. That is the area of the plot, but that one is in square meters. Now we need to work it out in hectares. So to convert square meters to hectares, we usually divide by 10,000, sorry. We divide by 10,000, yeah. So 3,000 out of 10,000 becomes 0.3 hectares of land. Among the provided choices, we didn't have the correct answer. Part 13, sorry. A cuboid has a capacity of 0.648 liters. If its length is 12 centimeters and width 9 centimeters, find its height in centimeters. This is capacity. So the first thing to do here, we are supposed to convert capacity into volume, whereby we will say 1 liter has a volume of 1,000 cubic centimeters. Therefore, 0.648 liters will be equivalent to 0.648 multiplied by 1,000, and that will be 648 cubic centimeters. The other thing now is to ask ourselves, how do we get volume? Volume is usually given by length times width times height. So the volume is provided 648. The length is 12. The width is 9. The height is unknown. And how do we remain with height now? By dividing through by 12 multiplied by 9. So 648 out of 12 multiplied by 9. This is going to give us the value of h, which will be equivalent to 6 centimeters. Therefore, the right answer here is part B. Number 14. A train left Kisumu at 8:30 a.m. and arrived in Nairobi at 2:15 p.m. How long did it take? It's good for you to convert this time to the 24-hour clock system, whereby the arrival time is going to be, instead of 2:15, now we make it 14:15 hours. Then the other one is 08:30. Then now we subtract arrival time and the departure time from Kisumu. The arrival is for Nairobi, the departure is from Kisumu. So 15 minutes minus 30 minutes, that one is not possible. So we have to carry 1 hour from 14 hours. Remember this side, the first 2 digits are hours, the others are minutes, the other 2 are minutes. So 15 minutes, we can't subtract 30 from 15 minutes. We have to talk about, we carry 1 hour from 14. So this now, when we carry 1 hour, the 1 hour is having 60 minutes. So it will be 60 plus 15. That becomes now 75. 75 minutes minus 30 minutes will become 45 minutes. And on the other side now, we are left with 13 after carrying 1 hour. 13 minus 8 is 5 hours. So we will have 5 hours, 45 minutes. The best choice becoming part D. Yeah, the best choice becoming part D. Number 15. A motorist covered a distance of 720 kilometers in 8 hours. What was his speed in kilometers per hour? Speed is usually given by distance out of the time taken. So a distance of 720 kilometers covered in 8 hours. When we simplify this, we're going to get exactly 90 kilometers per hour. 90 kilometers per hour. So the option remains A. Part 16. The temperature of ice was 15 degrees Celsius below the freezing point. What was its temperature in Kelvin? Something a learner should be able to understand here and comprehend very well is the value of the freezing point of ice. So the freezing point here is 0 degrees Celsius. Now the question is, to be 15 degrees Celsius below the freezing point means we are at negative 15 degrees Celsius. How do we convert temperature from the degrees Celsius to the Kelvin scale? We convert by adding 273. So to convert this, we need negative 15 and we add 273. This is going to give us exactly 258 Kelvin. So among the choices provided, we didn't have the correct answer. So a learner is expected to express his answer that way, his or her answer. 17, Onyango bought a piece of land for 600,000 and later sold it for 508,000 Kenya shillings. What was the percentage loss? Percentage loss is usually given by loss divided by the buying price. Then we express it as a percentage by multiplying by 100. So 600,000, we subtract 58,800. This gives us 12,000. Talk about the loss itself. Minus 588,000. This is going to be loss of 12,000. A loss of 12,000. Therefore, percentage profit will be the profit divided by buying price expressed as a percentage. And this is exactly going to be 2%. 2%. That will. Number 18, very good question, whereby we are told that the figure below is a parallelogram. It's a parallelogram. Study it and calculate the size of the angle ABC. The angle ABC is at this point. So what we should know is that in a parallelogram, opposite angles are usually equal. So the value of this angle is also 148. Then after knowing that, we will know that the other two are also positive. And being a quadrilateral, that is four-sided, we should know that when we take 148 and we add the other 148, we should also be able to add, this is x, and it's equivalent to x. So this is going to be 2x, and the total should be 360. So we can remain with 2x at this point. Then we say this is equivalent to, we are grouping now the terms together, whereby we are only needed to take 360. Then we subtract the combination of 148 and 148 again. So this is going to be 64. Now that this is 64, we can remain with x by dividing through by 2. We get 32 degrees. 32 degrees. That is how we solve that particular part. Number 19. Draw a triangle STB in which line ST 6 centimeters, angle STV 45 degrees, and angle VST 70 degrees. What is the measure of the angle SVT? So I'm doing a sketch because my space here will not allow the construction. Using a straight line, we can say this is ST, which is 6 centimeters. Then after that, STV 45. So 45 is going to be measured from here. 45 will be measured from there. That is 45 degrees. Then the other angle is a VST. So at S, we measure 70. So 70 will be measured here. We also produce a line. 70 will be measured there. This is equivalent to B now, point B. So with this sketch, learners are also instructed to measure the size of SVT, the angle at this point. So even without measuring using your protractor, whereby you can even make a mistake, you can do it very technically and say, being a triangle and we have the first two, then for us to get the angle at V, we need to take 180 and we subtract the provided ones, 70 and 45. So this is going to be exactly 65 degrees. See, option B, that way. Now, another question says, study the graph below. It shows the journey of a car from town A to town B, from A to B. What was the average speed for the journey in kilometers per hour? So we have a distance time graph, distance plotted against time, distance in kilometers, time is in hours. So there is very many ways that we can use to find the speed, depending on our levels. We can check what we call distance covered, then against the corresponding time taken. A distance of 150, for example, is matching 3 hours. 150, 3 hours. So we can use 150 and 3 hours. So 150 distance, because speed is given by distance over time divided by 3, we get 50. We can also use any other value, like a distance of 250 here. A distance of 250. Go down that line. So when we go down that line, see what we're discovering? You discover that the coinciding hour here is 5. So 250 is covered after 5 hours. So 250 over 5 hours, we still confirm our 50 kilometers per hour. Section B, whereby we're going to do exactly 80 marks. But 21, a fertilizer manufacturing company produced, this is, let me read it very well, 7,834,289.56. So you can just write 7 million, but you write in words, 7,800,800 and 34,000 289, comma, 0.56, not 0.56, 0.56, and it should be everything in words. Everything in words. I'm just trying to be brief. 0.56, that way. 0.56. 7 million, this should be written as 7,834,200. This should also be 289 289.56. A learner can also say 289 and 56 hundredths and 56 hundredths. So instead of 0.56, you can say and 56 hundredths. Yeah, hundred. That can be the same. In part B, what is the total value of digit 4 in the number? So we examine where digit 4 is, the place it occupies. So we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So 4 is occupying a thousands. So the total value is 4 times the place it holds, 4,000. By how much is the value of digit 9 greater than the value of 6? So value of 9 equals to just 9, because value is in the ones position. So being in the ones position, the value of 9 is just 9. But in the tens position, like 8, it would have been 80. Yeah, that way. Then we can also talk about the other value is digit 6. 6 is in hundreds. So if it is in hundreds, to be 6 multiplied by 0.01. 0.01. So the value of 6, sorry for that mixing up. The value of 6 is 6 multiplied by 0.01, which is 0.06. Now the difference will be 9 minus 0.06. And the difference is going to be exactly 8.94. 8.94. In number 22, Mandela spends a quarter of his salary on rent, an eighth on food, and a half of the remainder on school fees, and saves the rest. What fraction does he spend on school fees? So we are saying there is a quarter, which goes to rent, an eighth, which goes to food. So when we take a quarter and we add an eighth, we are going to get 3 out of 8, which means remaining fraction now is 5 proportions out of the total, which is 8, because 3 proportions over 8 are going to salary and food. Then half of the remainder goes to fees. So on fee, we shall have half of this, which is going to be 5 out of 16. So 5 of 16 is what goes to school fees. Then the other question is, what fraction does he save? So the fraction they saved is going to be, there is a remainder, which was 5 over 8, and half of it is confirming to be 5 over 16, which means the other half is what goes to saving. The other half goes to savings. But now we can do it this way. We can say that, we have for rent and food are giving us 3 over 8. Then fees is taking 5 over 16. So when we combine that, we shall get, let me get that addition. We shall get 11 over 16. If we get 11 over 16, this is when we add rent, food, and fees, then savings will be the remaining proportion now. So the remaining goes to savings. This remaining is, if 11 out of 15, if 11 over 16 has been used, then what remains is 5 of 16. Yeah, 5 over 16, because 11 over 16 has been used. Then we have 5 portions out of 16. If he saves 10,000 Kenya shillings, how much does he earn? So we say 5 proportions, which are the ones which go to savings, are 10,000. What about the 16 portions now, which is the total? It will be 16 multiplied by 10,000 divided by 5. So this is going to give us Kenya shillings 32,000. Yeah, 32,000. That way. 23. Suleiman added 1 over 11 grams of salt to his food. Convert 1 over 11 to a decimal and write the answer in decimal notation. Decimal notation. So we're going to take 1 over 11. This is giving us 0.0900909 that way, such that 09 is repeating itself. 0909. Therefore, we need to say that the repetition here is 090909. So we indicate that 0 and 9 are repeating. State whether the decimal in A above is either recurring or non-recurring. So this is going to be recurring because we have a certain number which is occurring all through. You can see 0 is occurring and 9 is also reoccurring. Show the steps you would follow to convert the decimal in A to 1 divided by 11 again. So how can you convert back? You will see that the value of X equals to what we are having, 0.090909 that way. So that 10X becomes 0.90909. Our objective is to ensure that on the decimal side, we get a number which will multiply, which will divide and get 0. 100x is giving us 9.0909 that way. When you look at the decimals part of the first one and the 100x here, you discover that when we subtract the decimals part, we will get a 0. And because of that, we can now conclude something here. Because of that, we can conclude something here. But we need to get now the value of X by saying that now we subtract the right-hand side, whereby it will be 9 minus 0, that is 9. Then on the decimals part, everything becomes 0. Now here, it will be 100x minus x, which is 99x. So the value of x now will be 99, 9 over 99. And this can simplify by 9, 1 by 9, 11. So those are the steps you're supposed to follow for you to get back the fraction from a recurring decimal. On a farm, there are cows, goats, and sheep in the ratio 5:2:4, respectively. Write the fraction representing goats. So according to the proportion for goats, and according to the mentioning here, we have cows, goats, and sheep. So the first one goes to cows, goats, then sheep. So for goats, it's 2 out of the total proportions. 5 plus 2, that is 7. 7 plus 4, that is 11. So 2 out of 11 is the fraction that represents, that is the fraction which will represent the goats. Yeah, we continue. Part B, if there are 66 animals on the farm, how many more cows than sheep are on the farm? Cows than sheep. So we need to say that the total proportions are 11 and they are representing 66 animals. 11 proportions for 66 animals total. What about the proportion that represents cows? That is 5. What about 5? This will be 5 by 66 over 11, giving us 30. These are cows in the farm. Then we will say again, 11 is representing 66. What about the fraction that represents sheep? That fraction for sheep is 4. So it will be 5, it will be 4, sorry. 4 by 66 over 11. So when you divide through here, we'll get 6 by 4, which is 24 sheep. Then now what is the question? How many more cows than sheep are on the farm? So we have to take 30 minus 24. There are 6 more cows. 6 more cows than sheep. We can still work out the same question by asking ourselves this. Alternatively, we can ask ourselves, how many proportions are cows above the sheep? 5 and 4. So the difference in proportions is only 1. Then we say 11 proportions are representing 66. What about the 1 proportion, which is now bringing the difference? What about the 1 proportion? So it will be 1 by 66 over 11, and this will give us 6 cows directly. So we can still work it that way. We can work it out in such a manner. During a dry season, 5 cows and 3 goats died. How many cows and goats remained all together? So cows are now changing from 30 and 5 are dying. So we get 25 cows. Then we have now goats. We said 2 over 11 represent goats. So 2 over 11 of 66 is going to be 12 cows. So 12 cows, but now we have 3 of them dying. So this is going to be 9. So all together means when we add up this, so we'll have 34 all together. Only 34 are going to remain all together. We got to number 25 now, whereby we say the number of textbooks in the library in the year 2024 was 750. In the year 2025, the number of textbooks increased to 1,000. What was the increase in the ratio? What was the increase ratio in the number of books? So we take the new ratio so that we may get the increase ratio. The new amount is to the former amount. Then we express it in the simplest form possible. Divide by 250, we get 4. Divide by 250, we get 3. So that is the ratio in the simplest form. That's an increase in ratio because the first proportion is bigger than the second one. If it was a decrease in ratio, we would have had a smaller proportion coming before the bigger one. Calculate the percentage increase in the number of textbooks. So percentage increase will be given by the increase out of initial times 100. So increase out of initial times 100. We want to express it as a percentage. So by 251 by 253, So a third multiplied by 100 becomes 33 and third percent, which can still be written as 33.33%. That way. Number 26. 3 men can weed a garden in 5 days. If one man did not turn up for the work, how much longer did it take the remaining men to complete the work, to complete the same work? So we can have men and days. We are saying 3 men can take 5 days. If one man did not turn up for work, so they became 2, how long are they going to take? So we ask ourselves, here there is the number of days, then we have to affect it in the ratio of men. 3 men are taking 5 days. When they are 2, we expect an increase in the number of days taken. Because we have reduced the manpower, then the working time will also increase. So it will be 3/2. Yeah, 3/2. So we increase the number of days in the ratio of men. This one will give us 15/2, which is 7.5 days. Then you know the specific question is how much longer? How much longer means they were taking 5 days and they are now taking 7.5. So we subtract and get 2.5 days. 2.5 days. Yeah, 2.5 days. Then check whether the question continues, yeah? No, we are now in number 27. Jerry had a square garden of area 60.42. Use a mathematical table to find the length of one side of the garden. So if this is a square room and it has the area, then for us to get length, we need the square root of the area, because the length has been squared to give us the area. Then the square root is going to give us the size of the length. Let me check a math table from my storage here. Let me check whether there is a math table. Remember to subscribe to this platform and to also share the link with friends. So we'll be doing now the square roots from the 4-figure table. Square root from 4-figure tables. Yeah. So we need the square root of 60.42. The square root of 60.42. So we go where 60.42 is. 60.42. Yeah. 60.42. So 60.4. 60.4 this is the column. 60.4. That is the column that we'll be dealing with. 60.4. So we go where 4 is. Here it is. So we read the value here. Then we remember that here, on this column, we have started with a 7 point. So we start with 7.7717. 7.7717. Then now we have to proceed and check the addition column, which is having 2, because it was 60.4, then 2. So we go to the column which has 2, and we add the difference. So along this column where there is 2, we find a 13, and it will be in the last positions. So we'll be adding 0.0013. Is going to be 0.377.7. Yeah, meters. So that's the length of one side. The length of one side. You should be in a position to extract square root from mathematical tables. If she used 3 strands of wire to fence the garden, what is the length of the wire used? To use 3 strands means in this in this square garden, we have a perimeter first. Then now the wire will go around 3 times. So you first multiply by 4 so that we may know perimeter. Perimeter is going to be 31.092. 31.092. So that we say now, length of wire shall be 31.092. We multiply this by 3. So when you multiply by 3, we get 93.276 meters. 93.276 meters. So that is now the length which will be used. Because if the wire goes round once, it will be 31.092 meters. But now it has to go around 3 times. It has to go around 3 times. So the total length of the wire to be used is going to be 93.276. Looking at number 28, the question talks about Masai used 0.0862 liters of petrol to travel from Machakos to Kibwezi. Write the amount of petrol used in standard form. So to write in standard form means we have to begin with a significant figure and only 1 digit on the right-hand side. So we have 1, 2. We have moved 2 times. So that we get 8.62. Now that we are moving to the right, it should be 10 to the power of -2. If we had to move to the right, then if we had to move to the left so that we may find only 1 number remaining, we would have put times a positive power, liters. Number 29, the question is on linear equations, simultaneous equations using the elimination method. Solve using elimination method now. 4x plus 2y equals to 16. 3x plus 22y equals to 113. So we have to make coefficients of x equal in both equations. So from equation 1, we multiply everything by 3, which is the coefficient in equation 2. And equation 2, everything to be multiplied by 4. So that the values of x are going to be equal in both equations. When equation 1 is multiplied by 3 throughout, we will have 12x plus 6y equals to 48. Then equation 2, everything by 4. So that we also get 12x at this point. Then we'll be adding 88y. Then this is the same as 4, 5, 2. After this, now we eliminate 12. Because we have equated 12, we eliminate it by doing subtraction of corresponding terms in these equations. 12 minus 12x, that one is cancelled. Then 6y minus 88y, we get -82y being equal to -48 minus 452, 404. So that the value of y, when we divide through, first the negatives will cancel, and the value of y becomes 4 and 38/41. 4 and 38 out of 41. So that is the value of y. Then the value of x will be found when we substitute the value of y in any of the equations. Substituting in equation 1, we will have 4x plus 2 into the value of y, which is 4, 38/41. Then this is equal to 16. Then now we can remain with the value of 4x. Then we take 2y to the other side, whereby it will be subtracted. This will become 6 and 6/41. So that the value of x now is when we divide through by 4. In this case, we'll get 1 and 22 out of 41. 1 and 22/41. So that is the value of x. The other value is of y. Number 30. Zainab bought 3 pens. She gave 3 pens to her friend. The number of pens she was left with was not less than 12. Was not less than 12. Form an inequality to represent the number of pens that Zainabu was left with. So initially, they were p pens, but she subtracted 3 to give to her friends. Then now, after this subtraction now, we are told that this number which remained now, p minus 3, after this, the number that remained was not less than 12. Not less than 12 means can either be 12 or greater than that. So now we can remain with p here and add 3 to the other side, giving us a 15. So that is it. P is greater than or equal to 15. That way. Represent the remaining pens using a number line. P greater than 15 means the number of pens are going to be, can have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The number line is just increasing towards the right. So the number can either be 15 or more than that. So we show an arrow, or more than that. Any number to the right. But we shed to show that 15 is included. Yeah, 15 is included. In number 31, we are talking about Atieno, who is X years old. Her sister is 2 years younger. Her mother, 3 times her age. What is the age of her sister? The sister is 2 years younger. So sister is going to be X minus 2 years. X minus 2 years. Because it is 2 years younger. And already Atieno is at X. How old is our mother? Our mother is 3 times her age. So 3, the value of X. Yes. That way. In part C, what will be the sum of their ages in 5 years' time? 5 years from now, Atieno is going to be X plus 5. Then the sister is going to be X minus 2. X minus 2, but she will also add 5. This can simplify to X plus 3. Then we will have the mother, who is 3X, and we'll also add 5. So the total, or the sum, is going to be X plus 5 plus X plus 3 plus 3X plus 5. Sorry, I am now supposed to use the space half here. So X is going to be, we have X, X, and 3X. So 2X plus 5X, 2X plus 3, which is 5X. Then 5 plus 3 plus 5 again, that will be positive 13. That is the sum of their age in years. Number 32. The figure below represents Mwendo's farm. The height is 5. The base is 150. The hypotenuse 170. The question is, what is the length of the side labeled M? So we have to apply Pythagoras theorem here and say, when we take 170 and we square, then we subtract 150, also squared, then we obtain the square root, we shall get the value of M. So M is going to be the square root of 6400. and the value of M comes exactly 80 meters. So the value of M is 80 meters. Mwendo went round the garden 4 times. What is that? E cover. So let's get the perimeter first. In case he makes only one lap, it will be 80 plus 170 in one side and the 150 in the other side. This is going to give us 400 meters. 400 meters. But now, total distance shall be, when we take 400 and we multiply by 4 times, because he's going to make 4 times laps, 1600 meters will be the total distance covered after moving round for 4 times. What is the area of the garden in square meters? Area for a triangular space is given by half base times height. So this is half a base of 150 and a height of 80. So this is going to give us area equivalent to 6,000 square meters. 6,000 square meters. Another question here on area still. A rectangular water tank has a square base of 8 meters and a height of 4 meters. What is the volume of the tank? What is the volume of the tank? Volume is usually given by base area times height. So a base area of 8 by 8, then a height of 4. 64 times 4 is going to be 256 cubic meters. Looking at part B, if the tank is half full of water, how many liters of water are in the tank? So half of the total volume is going to be 128 square meters. Now, what we should ask ourselves is, what is the relationship between liters and cubic meters? 1 cubic meter is equivalent to 1,000 liters. And now that we have 128 cubic meters, then we will have to multiply by 1,000. This will automatically give us 128,000 liters of water. The distance between town A and town B is 240 kilometers. A motorist left town A at 11 a.m. and arrived in town B at 2 p.m. How long did the motorist take? So the length of time taken is going to be, when we convert this time to the 24-hour clock system minus 11, is going to give us 3 hours only. 3 hours 0.00. So 3 hours in simpler terms. What was the motorist's speed? You know, speed is given by distance over time, right? And we are already having a distance equivalent to 240. Then now we have 3 hours being taken. So we talk about 80 kilometers, 80 kilometers per hour. What about the speed in meters per second? Now the speed of 80, you know, these are kilometers per hour. So 80 out of 1 hour, 80 kilometers in 1 hour. So we have to make 80 meters by multiplying it by 100, and we make 1 hour seconds by multiplying it by that 600. So at the end of the day, we shall have 22.22 meters per second. And now in part 35, Abdul went to a supermarket and purchased the following items: 3 kgs of sugar, each at 150, 2 bars of soap, each at 200, and 1.5 kg of rice for 400, then 3 matchboxes for 18, half kg margarine for 250. Prepare a bill for Abdul. So he's beginning with 3 for sugar, multiplied by 150 each. This is 450 shillings. Then 2 bars of soap, each at 200. This is 400. Then we can also talk about 1 kg, 1.5 kg of meat at 400. At 400. Is that so? Yeah. At 400. Then you see now we can still talk about matchboxes. All of them. Matchbox, all of them are going for 18. And then margarine is going for 250. So in this bill, we shall have a total of, when we add up everything, this is going to be 1518 Kenya shillings. Then Abdul now paid for this bill using 2 1,000 shilling notes. That means he gave out 2,000. And now the bill was 1518. So the balance is going to be Kenya shillings. The balance is going to be Kenya shillings 482. Yeah, 482. That's 6. The marked price of a radio was 1,200 Kenya shillings. Mweni paid 1080 after being allowed a discount. What is the percentage discount? So let's get the discount itself. The discount is going to be 1200 minus 1080. This is going to give us exactly 120 Kenya shillings. Now, discount is usually a percentage of marked price. So what percentage of the marked price was this? Marked price is 1200. So that is how we get the percentage of the discount. An oil tank in 37 has a diameter of 2.8 and a length of 14 meters. What is the volume of the tank? Volume is given by cross-section area times the length. So cross-section area is circular, then times the length. Pi r squared times length. Pi r is a radius. So we make it 1.4 squared times a length of 14. This will give us 86.24 square meters. 86.24 square meters. Then in number 38, part A, study the angles formed below by parallel lines. So these are parallel line together with this and this one. So, okay. We can also see that the parallel lines are these ones. The others will become transversals. But getting to the question, what is the relationship between the following angles, A and B? Angle A and B, angle found here and another one here. This one are said to be alternate angles. Alternate angles, and alternate angles are usually equal. That is what you should know about them. C and D. C and D. So C is here, D is here. These ones are called vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Then we have E and F. E and F. E and F. These are angles on a line. Angles on the line. And finally, we have G and H. So G and H, we call them cointerior. These are cointerior angles. Cointerior, another name can be the allied angles. The allied angles. The last question is number 38B. Using a pair of compasses and a ruler only, construct an angle which is equivalent to 30 degrees, an angle XY, XYX. I think we wanted to say XYZ. So the first thing you do here is just to draw a line. Remember, you've not been given the length from X to Y. We want Y to be at the center, so we can have it this way. We can have it this way. Let Y be here, then X here, so that I may construct the angle at Y. So standing at Y, I'm supposed to make an arc. Standing at Y, I make an arc like that. Then I stand where the arc is cutting, the line XY at a point here. And using the same radius, I cut the arc on that side. That means what I'll produce here is an angle of 60 degrees. An angle of 60 degrees that way. So now for me to get 30 degrees, I have to bisect the 60. So from this point, we can make an arc. And standing at this point, we make an arc again. Where the arcs are intersecting, we join them with Y now. So joining that with Y, we discover that we have bisected our 60. And what we will have here is exactly 30 degrees. So this can become our Z now. XYZ, exactly 30 degrees. Remember to invite people to this platform. Remember that our consultation line remains 07 04 15 33 66. Thank you so much.